We love spending this time with you. Thank you for listening. If you would like to take your listening experience to the next level, did you know there's a way to do that, Jabo?
I do.
Yep, you know how you do it. You go to thetjshow.com, you sign up for the TJ Show newsletter, and you get cool things dropped right into your inbox, like the TJ Show's 10 shares. We pick 10 different things, everyone on the team does it, that we think you're going to love. It's not just about our show. This is about like stuff, music we're listening to, whatever it may be.
Like life stuff.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole lot more in there. Sign up at thetjshow.com. This is the TJ Show, and I'm so happy to welcome Erica in Miami, Florida to the show. Hey, Erica.
Hey, guys.
Erica, a little while back, I was talking about how my kids were invited to a cat's birthday party. And they celebrated this cat in a way that I didn't know an animal could be celebrated. They had candles, they gave it a little can of tuna. And this happens way more often than I thought. You recently attended a dog's birthday party?
I threw a dog birthday party. So my dog turned 1, and I am huge on birthdays. I love my birthday. My birthday is a full month event.
That's right, girl.
And I thought it was only appropriate that my baby gets the same treatment. So we had a week-long birthday celebration. And then we threw a birthday party at my job because she does come to work with me every single day. And then it was a surprise for my dog. So when she walked in, everything
the dog was shocked.
Yeah, oh yeah. Dog was like...
she got presents. So by the end of the week, she was done. She was worn out.
Well, Erica, you sound like you're such a fun person to know and to work with.
Yeah.
I wish you were working here.
Yeah, seriously.
Throwing animal parties. It sounds like
that.
a blast. I love it. Hey, Erica, thank you so much for listening to our show. We really appreciate that you're... Are you turning the radio on? Where are you hearing us in Miami?
So I listen to the podcast. I used to listen to you when you were on Elvis Duran. And then once I started listening to podcasts, I listened to a lot of true crime podcasts. And my therapist and I were talking about like my anxiety. And we kind of discovered that part of it comes from all the true crime podcasts. I started looking for something a little bit more positive and lighthearted. And that's how I found you guys. And I've been mostly exclusively listening to your podcast. And it's actually a really good time.
Oh, wow.
That's
Erica,
awesome.
Elvis's show was so much fun to be on, and I'm like blown away that you're still in touch and listening. I just love that so much. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
But also, I want to dig into what you just said. So you were listening to True Crime, which is a very popular podcast genre. And I am convinced that it's not the best thing for us. And the reason why is because I think it sort of creeps into our subconscious beyond what we're actually hearing. There's something that really wears us down, hearing about murder all the time and gore.
Yeah.
I think it has an impact on us that is substantial and bad for us. And I don't think people realize it. They just think like, oh, it's like a movie or whatever. But you're saying your therapist agrees with that.
Yeah. If you start to listen to it so much, you kind of forget that aspect of like, this is someone's real life and this really happened to someone. And because you're just hearing the story, it kind of feels just like a story that you don't really realize, like, this really happened to someone and there's a family out there that's going through this. So then you also become like extra vigilant. And then every little noise in the middle of the night, you're like, what is that? So, I kind of had to dial it back a little and like, bring it to somewhere else.
And Erica, I always say it's always good to keep your head on the swivel because my mom is like, be aware of your surroundings, but at the same time...
You're going to twist your head off.
Yeah,
you keep listening to these podcasts.
These crimes are happening. They're true stories, but they're happening to maybe someone else in a different state. It's not happening every day to everyone around you. And you can start to think that when you start to hear it all the time.
Right.
Erica, I'm so grateful that you're turning on this show, and thank you for sharing that and being willing to talk about your personal experience there. I think you're probably helping someone more than you know. And we just love you for listening. And however you get here, however you get to hear us, thank you for being here.
All right. I love you guys, too.
Have a good one, Erica.
Love you, Erica.
Love
Take
you.
care.
Bye.
I can't believe that's a thing now. Why?
It's been a thing for a while.
I know. Why are we doing it now? I was telling you about the other day. I sat down on the couch, about to open my book, and I hear that my kid missed the toilet, if you know what I mean. And Dad, that cleanup crew had to go in and make sure everything was clean. I go back to the chair and sit down, about to read my book. And then I hear my dog knocked over the water dish. I'm like, okay, now I got to find a towel and clean up the water.
Yeah.
And then I sit down again and from the other room, I hear my wife go, hey, TJ, can you make the guacamole? I'm like, okay. So I put the book down. It just seems like everything that you try to do, and this is good. I mean, life is full. I'm not complaining about it, but it's everything's interrupting. And I just want to like either sit down, be still, or be with my wife and like talk.
That's a nice way to look at it, though. You said life is full. I would have just been annoyed.
Yeah, no,
That's great perspective.
I'm trying to flip the perspective, J-Bo.
Good job.
And, and the other thing, the big challenge, and this one annoys me even more than trying to read the book, I want to hang out with my wife, Jess.
Course.
And I just want to spend time with her. And I love the people in our life, our full life. But every once in a while, actually most times, we start talking, and then I hear, Dada! Can you give me a glass of water?
Or your roommates get annoying, huh?
Well, it's just they're interrupting. And they don't have boundaries of when they can and can't interrupt.
Yeah, it's tough.
So my wife, Jess, is on the phone. Hey, Jess, you there?
Yep. Hey, guys.
Hey, Jess.
So we were just texting a few moments, and you texted me something. I thought this would actually be helpful because you're right in what you said. This happens way more often than I would like.
Did you say she's right?
She's right. Yeah, she is right, and she makes me think. Can you share with J-Bo and everyone what you said about the expectations that we have to set? Because I keep trying to hang out with you, and we keep getting interrupted.
Yeah, well, one of my first jobs was at a pizza shop, and the guy who was the dishwasher, it was literally his only job. His title was the dishwasher. Every time I brought a new dish to him, he literally was like, another one? And he would get so grumpy about every dish I brought. And I was like, I'm confused. Isn't this the only reason you're here? But I didn't say that, but it stuck with me because the second, we have kids, we bring in dogs, we just have this, like TJ said, a full life. Like we sign up to be interrupted and to set our expectation to realize that we are interruptible will give us a lot more grace to deal with all the interruptions rather than being like the poor dishwasher who literally complained and act shocked every time the thing that he signed up for happened to him. So I was just encouraging TJ, like change your expectation, realize when you come home, you are going to be interrupted.
I'm the dishwasher.
Ooh, that's good. Last night.
Who barely does the dishes, but I am the dishwasher.
Last night, I remembered as I was going to bed that I had to clean my cat Apollo's litter box. And I was so annoyed. I was like, oh my goodness. And then I remember the time where he wasn't using the bathroom and how stressed I was that he wasn't using the bathroom. And then after I cleaned it, I was like, God, thank you that my cat uses the bathroom. Like he's healthy. He's okay, so.
Exactly. That's Apollo messing up his litter box still. And we're celebrating because at least he's using the litter box. He knows how to do it. So Jess, thank you for that, for being right once again. And I'd much rather have a wife that's right most of the time rather than wrong. It's harder to be with someone who's always wrong. That's me. So it's more challenging.
It's annoying. I get it. And we're allowed to be annoyed, but we can change our expectation to be like, yeah, this is what to expect. And then it won't be shocking and maybe we'll complain less.
Well, I love you a lot. I will catch up with you later, okay?
I love you too.
I love you.
Bye. Love you
Bye.
too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. No.
Okay, that's okay. She's too cool for that.
Yeah. I might need to borrow her sometime. Pretty soon.
Please not when I want to hang out with her.
Which is like all the time.
All week we've been honoring the teachers in our lives who have had a big impact on us. Heard all kinds of stories about how J-Bo almost got expelled.
Yeah, I did.
My
but
teacher...
a teacher saved my life.
Yep, that's right. My teacher broke the rules for me, and it really helped me. If you missed any of these stories, you can always hear it on our podcast at thetjshow.com. It's a great way to catch up on what you may have missed throughout the week. There's a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah, there is.
A lot of hours every day. Kenny, you're up today. Do you have a teacher that comes to mind, someone who so positively impacted your life?
Yeah, I want to talk about Miss Ferrito. She was my...
Miss Frito?
Ferrito.
I love them chips, though, with some chili on top. So good.
Yeah, we had a substitute teacher named Frankie French Fries.
But, love those too.
Did people call her Mrs. Frito?
Yeah, that might have been uttered a couple of times.
Okay, go ahead.
Miss Ferrito, she was my biology teacher in high school. And not only was she the biology teacher, she was the faculty advisor to the forensics program.
What?
That's cool.
There's a forensic program at your high school?
Well, yeah, and it's actually a little confusing because I, at the time, was a huge fan of CSI, and I thought I was going to be a crime scene investigator. But it turns out forensics could mean one of two things. It can mean crime scene investigating, or it's also used as a term for competitive public speaking. Have you ever heard forensics used as a term for competitive public speaking?
If I did, I've forgotten
That's
about
because
it.
they kill you with the words.
So I show up to this forensics club meeting thinking I'm going to learn how to investigate a crime scene. Come to find out, it's a public speaking club.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, well, I'm not really interested in this, but Miss Ferrito convinced me to join the team. I was like, well, I mean, I don't. What are we going to debate or talk about boring things? And she's like, no, you can do fun, dramatic things. I said, can I do comedy? She's like, yeah, I have these old Abbott and Costello scripts.
Oh, yeah.
And you could perform Who's on First. So that's exactly what I did. I went there mistakenly thinking it was something else, but then it got into performance and public speaking, which is exactly what I do today. So Miss Ferrito, I credit with, my first organized form of performance.
And J-Bo, now he is one of the nation's greatest broadcasters.
Yeah.
And we have Mrs. Frito to thank.
Yeah.
Yes.
You would have made loads more money, though, doing forensics. I'll tell you that.
Probably.
That is also true.
Yeah, but I would have had to see a lot of messed up stuff.
The price you pay. What do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm happy that you're here. To be honest,
Same.
I prefer you in this line of work because you're a lot of fun to work with.
Thank
and I
you,
didn't
man.
know I had Mrs. Farida to thank.
She was a great teacher. She was so passionate. She loved biology, but she also loved to perform. And you never would have expected this kind of, science teacher, like a stereotypical science teacher.
That's
as you would
offensive. Hey,
imagine
that's offensive to
what
science
they would look
teachers.
like.
You can't say things like that in this world today.
But she was funny
He said
and
it.
she inspired me quite a bit. She was the most engaging teacher I think I ever had.
Okay, so have you ever let her know that? Did you ever get a chance to have a conversation with her and tell her what an impact you had?
You know something? I reached out to her actually when we started this iteration of the show. I thought
nice.
she would be fun to have on as a science expert because she is a character and
Sure.
a half, but she never got back to my email. So I'm going to
She's
try
performing,
again.
man. She's doing her thing.
Yeah.
She's no longer teaching. She's like, I'm performing.
Yeah, and now her name, you may know her as Glenn Close. She switched careers and changed her name and ran far away and doesn't want to know Kenny anymore.
Yeah, so thank you, Mrs. Brito.
Yeah, try to get her on the show. Send her this to show her that you appreciate her.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go to the principal or something.
Go
like
to the
that.
principal's office over this.
Maybe she was checking her references first. She's like, let me listen to the show for a couple of months and see what's happening
Ooh,
first.
he failed the drug test in the
Oh,
same school.
She
I'm gonna-
remembers that.
Yeah. This is the TJ Show. We love our teachers. What do you do? Do you drink the bottle of wine? What's the right thing to do? Can you help out one of our listeners, J-Bo?
Okay, sure, I'll try.
We got this message over a DM on our Instagram, which, by the way, you're always welcome to reach out for any reason at all. And here's a great example of that. This is from Cindy. She says, hey guys, would love to get your take on this. A couple that we're friends with are moving to a different country. They've given away all of their possessions to their friends as something to remember them by. Wow, that sounds like
That's cool.
Cool friend.
Yeah.
They gifted us a bottle of wine. When we thanked them for their thoughtful gift, they expressed that the bottle was a gift from their wedding back in 1995, and that it holds a lot of sentimental value to them. They wanted to give it to us because of our close bond. My husband thinks we should enjoy it, but I feel that's disrespectful. And I also do not want to keep this bottle around my home. LOL. What do you do?
Oh, that's tough.
J-Bo, we'll start with you.
If it held so much sentiment, why didn't they just drink it? The friend. Anyway.
Yeah, it's too sentimental
Cindy
to
can't answer
drink.
the question right now. I don't have an answer for that.
Really?
I really don't. I don't have an answer for that.
Who needs the burden of this thing from some other family? It doesn't mean much to them. It means a
Right.
lot to the family, but
Right,
if it
but
meant
the-
so much, why
but
did they
the
give it away?
Friends, right? That was the question. Why did they give it away? Why didn't they just drink it themselves? It's from their wedding. But Cindy, obviously, her friends mean a lot to her. So if the bottle means a lot to her friends, Cindy seems to be it sounds like she's the kind of person that because it means that much to her friends, it's going to mean something to her.
My feeling.
That's tough.
I don't know, J-Bo. Like wine's a very sensitive thing. My feeling is these people know about wine. If they've got bottles of wine from 1995, they probably know it went bad. And they made it sound like it was this really special thing, and they'll never actually open it, and it'll be like the next generation that finds out it was a big scam.
I'd look it up and see if it's worth anything and then sell it.
Right? Yeah, that's true. You could sell it. That's a great idea.
And then
yeah.
take the money to go visit your friends in a different country.
Yeah, exactly. That's good.
I did look this up, and it is safe to drink wine that was bottled in 1995. It might have some extra sediment, so there's some techniques when it comes to pouring to try to avoid getting that sediment in your glass. I don't know if it would be worth anything, J-Bo, but I think
it depends on the brand of the wine. It could be worth something.
Right. I say drink it and then drunk dial your friends. Let them know that you're enjoying their precious memory.
Yeah, let's just say that it is this great bottle of wine. Because you hear about, the bottle of wine from 1890 and it's really special and valuable. Fine. What are you going to do looking at it? Like, try it. What a cool opportunity. When else are you going to get a hold of a 1995 bottle of wine for nothing? Like, enjoy it in their honor. They want you to enjoy it.
It'd be so funny if they actually bought it from like Walmart or something, and they're like, "It's from our wedding from 1995."
I know you never really know, but no, I'm always down to use it up. And the reason why I say that is because I don't know how long we're going to be here.
Yeah.
How do we know that we even have tomorrow? We've got today, we've got right now, and if someone gives us a gift, I'm going to use it. I used to worry about like using fresh office supplies or using fresh notepads or journals because I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to mess it up. It's like, what am I keeping this around for? Next thing you know, I'm getting all these gifts, they're piling up, and you never use them.
It reminds me of a story of this guy whose wife passed away, and his friends were helping him clean out his wife's things, and he pulls out a dress from the closet and it still has a tag on it, and he tells his friend, "Oh, my wife used to always say, I'm waiting for the special occasion to wear this dress." And then he realizes that life is the occasion.
Yep.
So wear that outfit, wear those shoes, drink that wine, I guess, and call it a day.
And if you need help, call J-Bo and me.
Hello.
We'll take a sip.
Yeah, I'm down.
This is the TJ Show, and thank you for reaching out, Cindy.
Hi, everybody. This is Adriana Trajani. I'm the host of You Are What You Read, a podcast about the books that built our souls. I have the privilege of interviewing luminaries of our times about the books that shaped them from childhood until now. Don't miss it. We get everybody from Sarah Jessica Parker to Kristen Hanna to Jhumpa Lahiri, Susie Essman, Rainn Wilson, Amor Tolls. You name it, they come, they talk, they share. You can join us on Instagram for more behind-the-scenes content and giveaways at You Are What You Read Podcast and at Adriana Trajani. New episodes of You Are What You Read drop every Tuesday on Apple, Spotify, or any major streaming platform wherever you listen to your podcasts.
I'm Erica, 1/3 of the podcast Books and Betches, a comedy book podcast where we swear, spoil, and we talk about...
Whoa, you cannot say that in this.
What do you mean? That's like our slogan. It's our gimmick.
It is, but just say we're a very funny adult book podcast. How about we just give some examples of things we talk about?
Well, there's a lot of chaos. I'm Kristen, and with me I have...
Whopper!
No.
We talk about books, but we're not your AP Lit class.
I definitely hit on the major points.
You absolutely did not.
She did.
You talked
Just
about...
not in the order you thought she would.
You talked so slowly about one thing.
A lot of sidebar conversations.
Are you denying the existence of chupacabras?
You know, Erica, yes, I am.
And we don't always get the facts right.
Epilogues don't belong in books. Call it chapter 1.
That's a prologue.
The second I see...
That's a prologue.
Oh, I'm talking about prologues.
You can listen to new episodes of the Books and Betches podcast every Tuesday morning, anywhere you get your podcasts.
Bye-bye!
This is the TJ Show. Something caught my attention. NASA posted a video. They said, what is it like to plunge into a supermassive black hole? Have you ever wondered? And they claimed this was an immersive visualization, so you can get a feeling for what it might be like to get sucked into a black hole in outer space, never coming back. And of course I watched the video and very underwhelmed by it. Like I just didn't feel what I was expecting.
What did you see in the video?
It's honestly hard to, it almost looks like a glitch. Like my thought was, well, if that happens, you're not going to even know it happened. Like you're just going to be like thin dust, boom, done.
They say a black hole gravity is so strong that light can't even escape. So I'd imagine a person would just be crushed.
No chance, right? Like you're not going to swim backwards and get out of it. But you know what fascinates me about this? It's like, okay, we just talked about it. Fine. We laughed about it. It's done. You go to the comments section and people
my favorite part.
They're actually fighting about this video. Who cares if NASA has this immersive visualization? People are genuinely fighting. Do you want to hear some of this?
Yes, please.
Yeah. That's not even close to being correct. Okay, fine, agree with that. Multiple comments respond.
Where's your science degree? I mean, this is NASA. Like, what?
Well, you know what? You'd be great at this, J-Bo, because someone goes, oh, so you know more than NASA? Care to share your vast knowledge and expertise?
Oh, my goodness.
Is that you on your Finsta?
Yeah, that definitely is me. Because I got time.
Another one. Source. Trust me, bro. Another one.
Trust me, like he's been there.
Sure, kiddo. You know more than NASA. Cry face emoji.
Oh, my gosh.
And the endless fighting on that one comment, it's like its own little universe of comment fighters.
When people are in the comments fighting, it's because they are either one or two people. They have nothing going on in their lives that they got to take care of, or they're avoiding the things going on in their life that they need to take care of.
Yeah, you're right. It's a distraction.
Yes.
You're so right. More. I mean, I could sit here and read the fighting comments about this video all day long. I can't believe they were able to record this. Whoa, face. Now, I don't know if they think that's for real.
Oh.
Maybe they didn't read that it was just...
Reading is fundamental.
Not near enough tests or facts to simulate. People asking for proof, like they can understand any level of the complex math and physics that goes into studying things like this. Like, do you have a better theory you can prove? Like, I wouldn't even waste the time in writing that.
No.
Yeah.
Number one, it's a simulation. Number two, it's a simulation based on a theory. And what astrophysicists have been able to observe about what happens to the areas around a black, and they just go on and on, like it's this long, almost essay in response to the people who were against it. And then this one says, and I was interested in this, it says, as a millionaire who was living his best life, I was also suffering at a time and know how hard it is to pay bills. So I'm helping the first 10 people to reach out to me with the message, help me.
Spam.
And I was like, whoa, okay, cool. Yeah, I could use some help. And I almost wrote him back. I almost wrote him.
Don't get got, bro.
And then I remembered that conversation we had with the Boston Police Department. Remember? And they said, don't fall for those kinds of scams. I think it might be fake. So I want to also announce that, J-Bo, don't respond with help me.
Yeah, no, I'm already on top of that.
Okay, good. So lots of life in the comments section where you wouldn't expect to find it.
The only time I like to read the comments section if it's a funny video, because the comments in that section, oh my gosh, are so great. They make the video even better.
Yeah, I picture these people in accounting firms who should really be full-time comedians. They're hilarious.
Like literally, I commented on someone's comment yesterday and said, "Thank you for the laugh. I needed it." Like I was just like, he needs to know. It was great.
That's wonderful. It's Mother's Day on Sunday. Do you have a plan yet for your mom, J-Bo?
Nah, I don't.
I finalized the plan for my wife, Jess.
Okay, good.
Kenny has this present that he's been buying his mom for the past how many years?
4 or 5.
You've spent almost $1,000 when you add everything together.
Sure.
It's these roses dipped in like a gold plating, or there's some gold in the metal.
They're 24 karat gold dipped roses. So they're real roses. I don't know how it's done, but this process makes the roses look beautiful and they last forever.
So you've almost gotten a full bouquet for her.
Yeah, exactly. That was the plan.
I don't know. I just had the thought. I was like, would you be willing to call your mom to find out if that's what she wants? Because it seems like it's a click of a button and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. And maybe she doesn't really want them.
Yeah, I appreciate your nudging there because she's very nice. I don't know if she would be 100% honest if I gave her something and she really didn't like it. So I did my best and I told her, please, Mom, be totally honest. Just be truthful. You won't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, and I'm not picking on Kenny here. I mean, I've fallen into this trap myself where I go, oh, I'll just order flowers for my mom. And then sure enough, the phone call comes, oh, you're so sweet. Yeah, thanks, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. This will be my mom. All right. Love you, team. And every year. It's like, should I shake it up a little bit maybe? I don't know. Maybe I should. Yeah. So here's Kenny calling his mom, just confronting the pink elephant in the room.
Mom, if I ask you a question, can you promise to be 100% truthful and honest?
I can try my best.
So you can't make that promise without knowing the question first?
All right.
See, why would she say yes? I would just say no. Tell me what it is. Yes, producer Heather.
Sounds like Kenny's mom has secrets.
Yes, she does.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Let me ask her some questions.
Yeah, go for it.
I can make the promise. I will tell you the truth.
You know how for Mother's Day, the last couple of years, I've been getting you those gold dipped roses?
Yes, I have.
Notice she didn't say I love them.
You're right. She finished his sentence.
She almost did.
Yes, I have.
I think she was going to say, and then she didn't.
Can you be honest with me? Do you really like them as a gift?
I do like them as a gift, but you don't have to keep buying them for me.
Well, do we need to dig into this any further? I mean, there's more of a phone call here. Sure. Why not?
Is that just me being lazy and getting you the same thing every year because I can't think of what else to get to you?
Well, you can always just come real flowers because I always appreciate them too.
And they're probably about, what, a seventh of the cost?
Yeah. But gold dipped roses last forever.
They do. That's what I'm saying. But you can you can actually break down and actually buy me a real bouquet of flowers. I do like fresh flowers.
Well, I can get you that too. You know, I'm getting pretty close to a dozen. We're almost there, right?
Yeah.
You know, I've spent almost $1,000.
I know. You don't have to tell me the price.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, you don't tell the price when you buy a gift, man.
it's going to make her pass out.
You're so hard to shop for. Every time I ever ask you what you want, whether it's Christmas or your birthday.
Surprise me. I want peace on earth and good children. You can buy me 2 different T-shirts with your faces on them. I don't care. I just love gifts.
Okay, so we've got many confirmations that maybe she just wants to spend some time with you.
Well, and she's going to get that. I will be spending the weekend with my family.
And she wants something a little different. Spice it up a little bit.
Well, I already bought the gold dip rose for this year.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So she's getting another one.
Well, it's going to be awkward, J-Bo.
Try
but-
again next year.
Yeah. One of the things I don't like about this job, and there aren't many things, but one of them is that I'm constantly up to date on the latest news.
Right.
I think I don't want to know what the news is.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't feel like wanting to know what the news is either.
I'm learning that about myself because I read a headline yesterday that kind of messed up the back half of my day yesterday. And I'm going to read it to you now.
So you can ruin our day?
No.
No, that's great. Go ahead. You're so thoughtful.
I've done the paranoid research, so you don't have to.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to read this headline, and it'll disturb you, but then I'll tell you why it's not as big a deal as I thought it was.
All right.
So I see this headline that presidential candidate RFK at one point had a worm in his brain.
I saw that headline.
Did you see it?
You know what I did? I scrolled right by it because I was like, "Ain't no way I'm reading that."
Yeah, like I don't want to know.
No.
But it's like, well, how do I avoid letting that happen to me? And that's the first thing I thought. And my wife is very upset with me that anytime she tells me, like she tells me about a friend, and they like develop some cough for something.
Right.
I've had to work on not asking, well, how did they get it? Because I think about like, well, how do my mind, I'm like, how do I avoid that?
Right, of course.
And we've gotten into some arguments. All you care about is, well, how do I tell you about what they're going through? And you're worried about you. And it's like, okay, I'm sorry. I know that's wrong. And I've had to work on that. And I've had to figure out why my mind goes to that immediately. But anyway, I read the brainworm story with the RFK headline. And now I'm thinking like, what did he do to get that?
Right.
And so I guess the story is that he had some scan and they found it and then it died. Yeah. And it's like, well, that's convenient.
Well,
Thank goodness it wasn't
like... I hope it would die in his head. It doesn't have any oxygen or any way to live.
And this is a very touchy subject. Like, I could barely talk about it, all right? It's hard for me to talk about it because it bothers me. But what I found out was, good news, this is very rare. Okay?
I'd say
especially like with the way that we prepare food here, the assumption was it may have come from tainted pig and they didn't like cook the pork well enough. And I'm like, great, I hate pork anyway. I don't even want to eat pork.
You like bacon.
Well, I like bacon, but I'm never eating it again. And so I've decided I'm going to cut down the risks and I'm not eating bacon ever again. If there's a chance it comes from that. And I think the real danger is if it's undercooked meat. Now, I've done something else to avoid this. I have a meat thermometer in my house, and my wife, anytime she cooks anything meat-wise, she sticks it in the meat. And we know. But the good news here is that it's very rare. It's like less than 2,000 cases, and oftentimes it's from people traveling from other countries maybe where they're not able to cook all their meat or whatever.
Okay. Or traveling to other countries?
Yes. But let me tell you, yesterday, my wife, I just made her iced tea. And she said, oh, why don't you go out to the garden and go get some mint? And I said, no, I'm not getting any mint. She said, why? I said, what if it has a worm on it? I couldn't stop thinking about like everything that I only processed foods from here on out. I was worried about the berries that I've been picking. I'm like, what was on those berries? Because I go foraging. I'm going to quit foraging now.
Listen, you were foraging for the longest and you've been fine.
Yes.
Processed food also has its downsides.
No, I know, you're right.
You got to pick your poison.
Well, I sound like my mom now. It's like, well, what the heck can I eat?
Every time you turn around, there's something else wrong.
I know. Well, it's unbelievable.
At least there's hope in this story because you know if you, God forbid, get a worm, it's going to die.
Well, I hope so. Yes, J-Bo. And I also, I was in the shower earlier today.
Okay.
And I saw a little brown thing in my shower. I'm like, oh no, here it is. And it's a little stick. So I'm like, everything I'm looking at, I'm worried. I was like, I don't even know where that came from.
Sleep.
How did
Relax.
I get a stick on me? No, I did. I went to bed early last night. My wife insisted on it. So I think everyone's fine, and it's very unlikely.
You to bed.
She had it. She said, you need to go to bed now.
Ever notice that how you feel affects your food choices and that what you eat affects how you feel throughout the day? Well, researchers noticed it too, and now there's cutting-edge science about how food affects our emotional well-being. I'm food and science journalist Mary Beth Albright, and in my weekly podcast, Eat, You'll Feel Better, I look at practical, realistic ways to put the science of eating for emotional well-being into action. And, this is important, without lapsing into negative diet culture messages that can really ruin anyone's emotional well-being. We talk about things like how the food in your gut sends messages directly to your brain. And we also celebrate something that I personally find often missing from food health news, and that's leaning into pleasure. Because food is delicious, and it's not just about what we eat. Emotional well-being is also about how we eat. So join me every week on Eat, You'll Feel Better, where we use science to improve mood through food.
This is the TJ Show, our news. It sounds different around here. Kenny reads through every story he can find, and then he brings us the most interesting ones. Kenny, what's happening on the planet today?
Taylor Swift's Eras Tour kicks off its 18-city Europe leg in Paris tonight. And it turns out there are a lot of American Swifties who are headed across the pond to see Tay-Tay.
Isn't it amazing how long this tour has been going on?
It's going to be like 2 years by the time she's done.
Yeah, it's a lot of touring.
Mm-hmm. She's taking some breaks, but yeah, it's a lot.
And the Paris Arena is reporting that Americans accounted for 20% of the ticket sales there.
Wow.
At the next stop in Stockholm, Sweden, they're expecting about 10,000 Americans to be attending that tour.
It's probably cheaper to go to Europe. I'm
Right.
seriously than it is to buy Taylor Swift tickets here.
J-Bo, you're onto something there. So they had an expert from Expedia, the online travel company, weigh in on this, and the spokesperson said, you could either have $1,500 to go see Taylor Swift in Miami, or you could take that same $1,500, buy a concert ticket, a round-trip plane ticket, and 3 nights in a hotel for the same price, or maybe in some cases less.
Yeah, a few months ago, Taylor Swift was in Brazil, and I remember joking with you guys, producer Heather probably remembers this, and I was like, let me see how much tickets are in Brazil. $75 for a ticket in Brazil. And I literally contemplated getting a plane ticket and flying to Brazil. I didn't, but it's cheaper.
Well, what a cool way to experience another country.
Yeah, and so there's this real life situation here. They spoke to this woman from Ontario, Canada, who couldn't find tickets in either the US or in Canada. I guess the Canadian tour is coming a little bit later on. But 3 VIP tickets in Germany cost 600 euros, about $646 each. In Toronto, where Taylor Swift's expected to have 6 dates there, which is drivable distance for this woman, nosebleed seats are going for 3,000 Canadian dollars. That's $2,194 on secondary retail sites.
It's just people reselling. We really got to talk about the fact that people are just buying tickets and buying things and reselling it for the high. That's a problem. There's a greed problem.
Oh, yeah. Well, that seems to be a long-standing issue that has to be addressed, J-Bo.
Yes.
And it sounds like people are starting to talk about at least ticket sales and some of the mess that's happening there. So hopefully it gets dealt with.
Some of the Swifties actually justified their ticket purchases overseas because of tighter restrictions on ticket fees and resale in Europe, which is something we're trying to address here in the States.
Kenny, what else do you have?
A mailman from Texas somehow came across letters dated back to 1942 in his work bag. And this mailman, Alvin Guthier, is a Marine Corps veteran, so he immediately thought World War II and was thinking history. So the letters were sent to Marion Lamb's parents in Jacksonville, Arkansas. There was no street address. So he goes to KRK TV in Little Rock, Arkansas. They run a story and track down Marion Lamb's sister, Joanne Smith, who still lives in Jacksonville, Arkansas. This mailman, Alvin, could have put them back in the mail. Instead, he decides to drive 379 miles from Texas to Jacksonville, Arkansas to personally hand deliver these letters to Marion Lamb's sister, Joanne.
That's some service, huh?
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. And again, she's extremely grateful, saying this is a connection to her family that she wouldn't have had otherwise. And now the two are best friends and they're going to stay in touch.
It's a part of history.
People caring about people, too.
Yeah.
How cool. Kenny, what else do you have?
Did you have a red wagon when you were a kid, a radio flyer, red wagon, those iconic wagons?
I know what they are. No, I don't think I had a wagon.
Yeah, me neither. But I am super jelly when I see kids in wagons and their parents are pulling them. I'm like, get out, kid. Let me get in. Come on.
Yeah, gotta love getting pulled by a wagon. They gotta make one that's like adult size so that we could be in it.
TJ, they have.
Really?
As a matter of fact, an SUV-sized radio flyer red wagon that has a top speed of 60 miles per hour. It is street legal. It's got 57,000 miles on the odometer.
Car.
It is going up for auction.
Oh, it drives?
Yeah, you can actually drive it on the street.
Wow.
Let's go.
That's fun.
The seller decided to sell the car after the passing of her husband, who built the car using the chassis of a 1976 Mazda pickup truck to create this radio flyer car. He did it about 14 years ago.
Well, and you're allowed to drive it?
Yeah, I mean, it's built from a chassis of a street legal car.
Oh, wow. Cool.
I mean, it does have the handle in the front, which sticks up in the air pretty high. So be careful driving underneath bridges or overpasses.
Yeah, and don't let it drop.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want the handle of the wagon to drop.
Yeah, the seller said, I'll miss it. I'll miss the fun of driving it. It's just so much fun to take somebody for a ride and then see all the people's reaction to you. And the wagon car is being auctioned online by Alaska Premier Auctions and Appraisals as part of their Mother's Day Classic Car auction, and bidding is open through Sunday.
Kenny, what else do you have?
We've been hearing rumors about a potential reboot or spin-off of the popular TV series The Office for some time. The last episode aired more than 10 years ago on NBC, but it's still just as popular as ever through streaming. It's official. The show is happening, and it's going to be on Peacock.
Wow. I'm surprised because they've got such a good thing. And it's like in a glass case. Mm-hmm. People could use it anytime they want. They're still racking up the streams. That's a situation where you go, could they put that investment into something new? Give some creators a chance to create something interesting and different. But I guess, is Steve Carell coming back?
No. See, I don't believe any of the original cast members are supposed to be involved in this. What they're saying is that this show will take place in the same universe as the original show, but instead of following the fake paper company in Scranton, Pennsylvania, they're going to be following a fake dying historic Midwestern newspaper and the publisher who's trying to revive it with volunteer reporters.
Wow.
I'm curious how the comedy is going to play out, because when The Office came out, it was a different time in society.
That's true.
And now we're in a
Yeah.
different place, so we'll see.
Yeah. See, even just regular Office shows now are turning into like Marvel universes.
Well, and that's what caught my attention. The fact that it's in the same universe as the original show does lead me to believe that there may be cameos from some of the original cast in the future.
Well, Kenny, what else is going on in the world?
There will be less Marvel movies coming out in the future, or at least they won't be released as frequently.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do with only 28 to watch? How many are there right now?
Ooh, I don't know. And, something, it's not just the movies, TJs. There's
33 films.
33
films, wow.
See, now I said 28 thinking it's probably about 12.
You thought you were exaggerating.
I'm going to be ridiculous and say 28. And look, it's 33.
Well, it got to a point where they were releasing 4 or 5 movies a year.
It's madness, and it's watered down at a certain point. Even you said it. You're a huge Marvel fan.
Yeah, and
why not take this collection of movies? You've got people growing up all the time, right? There are a lot of babies who've never seen these movies. They're going to love them in 10 or 15 years.
Yeah. Well, Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, which owns Marvel Studios, was on an earnings call with shareholders, and he outlined the new strategy to release 2 or 3 movies a year or 2 max 3 TV series a year. He says they want to reduce output in an effort to focus on more quality.
Good. That sounds like a good plan.
And there's only one movie set for release this year altogether. That's Deadpool and Wolverine, which is set to debut in July. And then going forward, like I said, 2 to 3 movies a year, 2 to 3 series a year. And even the co-president, Luis D'Esposito, said, maybe when you do too much, you dilute yourself a little bit. We're not going to do that anymore. We learned our lesson.
I mean, just look at... I mean, you print too much money, it devalues the dollar, right? I think that applies to everything in life. You do too much of spending time doing wrong things, it's going to affect you in horrible ways. It's just works across life, across the board.
It's Marvel inflation.
It's common sense.
Yeah. Well, the last 2 movies they released in 2023, Ant-Man Quantumanium and The Marvels, were both considered flops, with The Marvels earning the title of the lowest grossing Marvel film of all time.
I don't know why. That movie's great.
Yeah, I liked it too.
It is a great movie.
I even liked Ant-Man.
I got to see. So I've seen Iron Man.
That's
the first one?
Yep, that's the one.
That came out 800 years ago?
I think I also saw Iron Man 2.
Yeah, it was good.
And Spider-Man.
What, Tobey
Well,
Maguire?
you have 30...
See, that's not MCU. That's a different universe.
No, it's not.
You have 32
It was
more
Spider-Man.
movies.
It's a different universe, TJ, technically.
You're saying there are Spider-Mans in different universes?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you should watch the most recent Spider-Man movie where they actually brought all the Spider-Man universes together.
That's news to me. Kenny, thank you for keeping us somewhat informed.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, there's something quirky about our camera guy, Josh. He's such a strong guy, Jabo.
Right.
Very big muscles, constantly at the gym, and you'd look at him and you'd assume, tough guy. He can handle a lot.
You'd assume.
Mm-hmm. But he's like petrified of the dentist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so much so that, is it true your wife has to join you to the appointment?
Yeah, I'm not going without her. Are you crazy? I'm not going in there.
So does she have to calm you down on the drive? He drives 2 hours to get to his dentist because there's only one dentist that's able to be gentle enough with him.
Oh, yeah.
Does she hold your hand in the car and have to talk you down?
Yeah, well, more recently it's the opposite. I think she enjoys my fear that I get out of it, so she just hypes me up and makes me even more nervous before I go in there. We just had a new dental hygienist start at the practice, and so I don't like anyone else touching my teeth.
Oh yeah, so this is the latest. He's on his 2-hour voyage to the dentist, and he's very upset because this new person has been introduced to the dentist office.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's not used to the way he wants to be gently touched.
And he's not used to that particular person.
Yes. You've had to have conversations with your dentist, and it's kind of like she's talking to a baby.
For sure. She absolutely is talking to a baby.
Yeah. And she's decided to concede and be really gentle with you.
She's amazing.
She warns you.
The best.
But now she's trying to get you to grow up a little bit, and she brought in this new person.
Don't like it.
Mama bird is pushing baby bird out the nest.
Did you talk to the main dentist and say, no, I don't want that?
Yes.
And what'd she say?
She was like, just give it a try.
Wow.
And you gave it a try.
I gave it a try, and I hated every second of it.
Wait, so was she rough?
Yes, she was rough. She was like every other dentist.
Did you file a complaint or what?
I want my old doctor back. I want my old dentist back.
Having a tantrum.
So
Did you
have to work this out?
Did you talk to her about it?
Yeah, I talked to her about it.
What'd she say?
I was like, can I just go back to you, please? Can I just go back to you? She's like, we'll see. Just schedule an appointment. I'm like, she's leading me on.
Well, she's being rude.
Yeah.
I think you should dump your dentist and go to
I don't know.
If you're going to have your teeth jostled around, you might as well go to a closer place.
How long have you been going to this dentist?
3 years, ever since my wife and I got married.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's
No,
go back.
no,
He's gonna
I
go
am
back
there.
To her.
I am there. She is my dentist. I will travel across the globe.
Maybe you should start crying so that she can say, okay, fine, I'll do it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you think I didn't try that, J-Bo? I'm working on it. I'm pulling out all the stops.
You have any cavities?
No.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Nice.
No,
See, he's got strong teeth.
Right. Well, that's the thing. They're like, oh, your teeth are sensitive. I'm like, no, they're not. Everyone's teeth are sensitive to metal spikes sticking in them.
Why is Kenny laughing at Josh?
Because it's just so much fun.
Okay, great. Well, I'm sorry, Josh, for your loss.
Yeah,
and
it sounds like
hopefully, it's good that she's pushing you out of the nest. This is going to toughen you up.
It's not good.
Yeah,
it's
and you
not
came
good.
in today with all your teeth, so really it didn't go that bad.
My mouth hurts so bad right
Really?
now. Yes, yes, it hurts so bad. My mouth is so sensitive right now.
One of our...
Would you like some ice cream?
Yes.
Okay.
They have... one of our advertisers is Sensodyne, right? You hear that on the podcast
Right.
sometimes?
She said I should start using
Start using
Sensodyne.
that, you big baby.
She said that.
Just get the Sensodyne in your mouth.
Yeah, I guess that'll help with the metal picks in your gum. That makes it not hurt anymore.
They've got toothpaste for you, Josh. We really try around here to do a show for everything. And I say everything because I'm talking about our animals too, J-Bo.
That's right.
My dog Luna just passes out like a slob in our living room every day.
She works hard. She's tired.
Yeah, she's playing with kids all day, so give her a break.
That's tough.
But my wife puts the radio on. And she tells me all the time, yeah, Luna doesn't even move. She just stays sleeping. And it's like, well, of course, because we're not doing anything interesting.
That's right.
For our animal population listening, and maybe your dog has its head hanging out your window. He doesn't want to hear what we're doing. It's nothing for him. Mm-hmm. And that's why Luna's Animal Tales was started. It's the biggest animal headlines from around the world and back. And I think your animals will find this interesting. There's a woman who fed a bull a banana in Texas. It was just here and there. Thought it was cute, had curly hair. Give it a banana every once in a while. She was shocked to look out her back window and see the bull staring at her. It broke through the barbed wire fence she has. It was looking for more bananas.
Curly's like, hello, are you home? Can I get a banana, please?
Yeah. And just walked up to the window, peeked his eyeball through, looking for this nice woman named LaToya. And she said that he didn't know how to get back down. She didn't know how she was going to get him back down. So she called in the non-emergency line. And they got there. And after a little struggle, the officers were able to safely guide the bull back to its pasture. They repaired the fence. LaToya was warned, don't get too friendly. You start feeding bulls bananas, and they're like cats. They'll keep showing up.
That's a pet right there. She should just keep Curly.
Well, maybe that is a good idea, J-Bo.
Yeah, he's a good bull.
Cleanup's a little bit
Yeah.
more involved than a cat.
There's a lot of bull. Well,
Have you
Anyway.
cleaned a cat litter before? Because boy.
This story coming out of Northport, Florida. Firefighters had to be called, and they were ejecting a cranky customer from the Starbucks drive-through line. It was an under-caffeinated alligator who was in a bad mood. Now, I found that most alligators tend to be in a bad mood. Not all, but most.
Yeah, well, no, I would say
And
all.
They had to have the safety department relocate this alligator to a nearby pond, which I'm sure the fish are not thrilled about.
No, the fish probably excited when the gator went missing.
Yep, exactly. They convinced him to leave.
Right.
You gotta try this coffee
Starbucks
thing.
is great. Get some.
It's pretty amazing. You ever swim in that? Try it, bro. But thankfully, the alligator is okay, and people on the drive-through line said, didn't know our mornings could get so wild, but apparently they can. That's in Florida. You never know what's going to happen
Never
in Florida.
know.
And then there's a mama bear that's making headlines. Decided to take a swim in a California resident's pool. Southern California, video has been shared. Not only did mama bear take a swim, the whole family of bears decided to hang out in the backyard.
A little vacation, huh?
Yeah, so all the baby bears were watching mama take a dip. She's probably teaching them how to swim,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
I mean, that's what you got to do. The bears were seen using a large tree in the yard for climbing and scratching before eventually moving along. The bears are the stars of the internet. I'm telling you, no animal is funnier than a bear.
Those baby cubs are just like kids. They're just bothering mama. She's trying to take a bath.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Leave mama alone.
No, I mean, I think I would love to watch a bear from that close, as long as it's not going to hurt me.
I need a barrier at least, for sure.
This has been Luna's Animal Tales, all the biggest stories and animal headlines. Hopefully your animal enjoyed that.